Okay, I have a little bit to read, which we start every meeting with. This meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting of December 8th, 2020 was included in a meeting notice sent to the Burlington County Times and Courier Post on January 8th, 2020, and advertised in said newspapers on January 10th, 2020 and January 11th, 2020, and respectively posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building on January 9th, 2020, and has remained continuously posted as required under the statute. Instructions for internet access of the meeting was posted on our website, bulletin boards, and main doors the Friday before the meeting, and advertised in the Burlington County Times and Courier Post on October 20, 2020. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the municipal clerk, which Paula has some additional information to read right now.
Remote public meeting instructions. Any question or comment on agenda items that were transmitted to the administrator or municipal clerk by 4 p.m. on the Tuesday of the meeting shall be considered by the Township Committee and entered into the official minutes of the meeting by either the mayor or clerk during the corresponding public comment periods. Individuals that are attending the meeting remotely will be able to fully participate in the meeting. The clerk requests that all phones and microphones be muted. When public hearings and public comments commence, the clerk will unmute all participants. If you would like to speak, please clearly state your name and address. The clerk will acknowledge your turn to participate at that time and continue to manage the order. Once done speaking, please remute yourself. If a remote participant becomes disruptive, the clerk will mute the individual and give a warning. If disruption persists, the individual will be muted and/or removed from the meeting. Documents available to the in-person public may be found on the Hainesport Township website with the agenda and remote meeting instructions.
Okay, wow. So we'll have the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, can we have a roll call?
Here. Mayor McLaughlin?
Here.
Ms. Schneider? Here. Mrs. Gilmore?
Here.
Mr. Costa?
Here.
Mr. Klaus?
Here. So we have a little something to start the meeting off. And I'm actually going to come down to the podium. So I'm facing the committee. I hope the audience doesn't mind. So today marks the last meeting for two of our current committee members. I wanted to read a little something. I remember this feisty young lady standing up at a committee meeting when her sister was called out for her beliefs. Fast forward a few years later, and I remember by chance meeting with her and her mother at Dunleavy's one night. We really didn't know each other, but we started talking, and somehow we came up with the crazy idea of Lee running for committee by herself in a contested primary with two incumbents, a prominent ex-party Republican Party chairman, and another candidate. Wow, 5 people vying for the 2 offices. I remember telling her many times that it was a mathematical improbability that she could win, so her heart wasn't broken. We were lucky to get Ted to sign on with us and procured the help of many others who were attracted to Lee's and Ted's enthusiasm to win an almost impossible task. Lee visited every house in Hainesport, I think 3 times. Lee and Ted won a 2-to-1 margin, way off in column 6, against 2 popular incumbents that you really had to look hard to find their names. I think this was a first in any town. Lee has become the chair of our party and rose to the level of deputy mayor in 3 years. Lee was our Republican candidate for freeholder last year. Lee has been a passionate voice for many causes during her tenure on the committee, and we have all enjoyed her social media posts and just plain great videos. As Lee closes one chapter in her life now, I want her to always remember her accomplishments here and always understand that all she has to do is imagine ourselves in a situation, and this scenario will play itself out over and over again with the hard work and dedication to goals that has worked to get her here. I consider Lee one of my close friends. Lee, I want to thank you for believing me to come out of retirement and join the committee and supporting me for mayor this year. I hope I've lived up to your expectations. On behalf of the Township Committee, our township employees, as well as the entire town of Hainesport, I offer this momentum to you to hold on to as you think back on your time here on the committee.
Thank you.
So we have a plaque here for you. We're going to do a photo op in a minute.
Thank you so much.
Here, keep this. Stay up here. And we have one other committee person retiring, committeeman, and I wrote a little something for Ted. Come on down after. Ted Costa believed in me enough to recruit me for Paul Tuliano's seat in the mid-'90s when Paul became our administrator. Ted was both the Republican chair and the solicitor for many years. Every election, we could always count on Ted to raise money and be very involved in our campaigns. Ted was always there to walk for each election season during the old days when we all supported each other to get elected. I believe Ted has a 100% winning record as Republican chair. During past disagreements with the committee and administration, Ted was caught up in the winds of change by no fault of his own and let go as our solicitor, but came roaring back to stay involved by winning a very tough primary battle, eventually winning his seat on the Hainesport Committee. Ted is a friend of mine. I've watched Ted raise 3 outstanding sons that he always makes time for, and I have watched Ted suffer tragic loss. I will miss Ted's passion for our town, our cause, and our way of life that he pursues and promotes every chance he gets. As Ted closes one door, I'm sure other doors will open for Ted to remain as passionate a citizen as he has been on our committee. Ted, I'll always be thankful for your trust in me to join our township government back then and for your support as me as mayor this year as it has meant a lot to me. I hope I have lived up to your expectations. Again, here's a small memento of the service that you have provided to Hainesport from your fellow committee members, township staff, and Hainesport residents. I was a little short of wind, but, you guys have really served us well. Here's a little plaque to hang on your wall and remember our time. Leila, would you like to come down and take the picture op?
with the...
Come on here. Look at this stuff. Come on up. Come on up. You got it? Wait out here. Yeah. Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you so much, Bruce. Next trip. You got me, Mom. You got me. That's what I just said.
Well, a lot to get out of.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So back to normal business here. We have the minutes from November 10th and the executive session minutes of November 10th, 2020 to approve.
So moved. Second.
Yes.
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 Yes. So we have the report section, the tax collector, code enforcement, fire official, construction, and emergency services reports for November 2020 to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Costa?
Aye.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. So, right now, we have comments from the public on items that are on this agenda only, please. So if you'd like to make a comment, please come up.
Hello, Ken Montgomery, 3 Wilkins Road. As I've just been elected, along with my running mate, Bruce Levinson, to somehow fill the slots of Lee Schneider and Ted Costa, I just feel the need to just thank them both for their, Ted, who's, I don't know, for as long as I've lived in his development, he seems to have been involved in Hainesport, and Bruce rattled off some dates. I wish I wrote them down to remember, but thank you so much for all that you've done for our town. And Lee, wow, short, sweet, and just furious with passion, and just thank you. And thank you both for helping us with our campaign as well. So I just wanted to hear to your
Thank you so
awards
much.
and wish you both the best. And stay with us, help us as we go along. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have anybody else that would like to make a comment? Is there anybody on the internet? Okay, with that, I'll close public comments. I thank Ken Montgomery for his nice words. So in the ordinance section tonight, we have ordinance 2020-8, which is a comprehensive ordinance amending the public code as a part of the township codification process. This is something we've been going, or John and Paula have been working on, changing some of the language in some of our, I'm going to call them laws. So if the committee has any questions, fire away. Okay, with that, I'll ask for a motion.
So moved.
Public.
Oh,
To open it.
It's a comment, I blow that every time, but I'm consistent. So, yes, this is the final adoption, so it is open for public comment. It says it right here, I just have to read it if I, they try to make it easy for me. Nobody has any public comment, any questions about what we're doing? It's just basically throwing out old language, John, if I blow that, help me
That's the
out.
first one, you're changing Bureau of Fire Safety, which is not what it's called anymore, the Fire Prevention Bureau. Many of the provisions had old violation sections, so they're brought current to comply with what the statute was amended some time ago. References to the State Health and Conservation and Economic Development has been replaced with Department of Community Affairs, things along those lines. Not a lot of, a couple of substantive ones, but mostly it's to bring it up to 2020 standards.
And it's a lot of work, so I thank you and Paula for doing that. We're open for a motion to approve this ordinance.
so moved. A second?
Okay.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus? Yes. Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. So number 9 are what we call consent resolutions. They can all be voted on in one motion. So I'm just going to read through them so people kind of understand what we're doing here. So Resolution 2020-165-12 is a resolution authorizing contract for computer services with Edmonds and Associates. 2020-166-12 is a resolution adopting the Governor's Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse to get we're getting a fiscal grant on that, right? If I remember correctly, okay. 2020-167-12 authorizes transfers of funds during the last 2 months of the current fiscal year and the first 3 months of the subsequent year. So when we have items in a particular line item of the budget and we don't use them up, we're allowed by law to transfer that money to another line item in the budget. The Resolution 2020-168-12 authorizes acceptance and participation in the Federal Fiscal Year 2020 Emergency Management Agency Assistance Subaward Grant Program. Okay, I'm going to need some help explaining that one, Paula.
It's, we actually received the grant last year, and that's what the next resolution is, accepting the grant appropriation into our budget. But this is a second subsequent grant for this year, and it's $10,000 to help offset our emergency management salaries, as well as purchasing 2 radios.
Okay, great. The next resolution, 169-12, amends the adopted budget for additional items of revenue and offsetting appropriations, or fiscal year 19 EMAA Emergency Management Subaward Performance Grant. Is that pretty much the same?
It's the
Same
same,
thing.
we received it last year, and this is, we actually received the
Yep.
money.
So with all that, I would ask the committee for one motion to approve all of those resolutions.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. So the normal resolutions, we have a 2020-170-12, which is awarding our contract for solid waste.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. And Resolution 2020-171-12, this reappoints Paula L. Cosco, RMC, as our municipal clerk.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. And congratulations, Paula. Thank you for the great job you're doing.
Thank you, Paul.
You're just a bastion of energy.
Look at the glue.
I really appreciate working with you. Number 2020-172-12 authorizes cancellation of outstanding grant receivables.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes, and on the other side of that, 2020-173-12 authorizes cancellation of outstanding grant appropriations.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. So, Resolution 2020-174-12, again, with this COVID emergency that we're all facing, the church found themselves in a little bit of a quandary for room. So we are granting this resolution grants Our Lady Queen of Peace temporary authorization to utilize the Parish Center for Church Services due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah, so moved. I might add, although I'm a Catholic, we would do the same thing for every church as a matter of public safety and health. And this gives the church a respite for, I believe, 75 days until it can straighten out its issues regarding the occupancy of the building. And so I move the motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
So, in correspondence, we have a letter concerning the Arc Road surfacing from the state of New Jersey to receive and file. And basically, the letter states that we did receive some funding of $185,000 again to pave that road. So kudos to our administration and our legal staff and planners for really pursuing these grants and getting a lot of our roads paved. So be aware, I guess, when's that supposed to start? Soon, someday.
We have 2 years.
Okay. So do we make a motion to receive and file that?
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus? Yes. Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. So next is comments from the public on anything you would like to speak about. Bruce had his hand up first, so if you don't mind, Anna, I'll give him the first shot. Well, he's a great guy.
Anna Evans, 63 Parry Drive. I suspect we're going to be saying the same thing anyway. I just want to thank Ted Costa and Lee Schneider for their service to the committee and to the township. Wish you all the best in your future endeavors. And then I'd like to congratulate Paula Costco on being reappointed as municipal clerk, and also to congratulate Bruce and Ken on your victory. And I look forward to working with you all in 2021, and let's hope that 2021 is a better year. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bruce, I like that name.
Bruce Levinson, 2 Fox Court. I wanted to wait till now because it's kind of hard to follow in Ken's shoes, right up after he talks. I want to thank both of you, Lee and Ted, for these 3 years that you put in serving Hainesport Township. I remember 3 years back when Lee came to my door, this passionate...
4 years.
4 years now?
2017.
Lee comes to my door, a passionate young lady looking to run for Township Committee, and I knew what she was up against. I saw her desire and her passion, and right from there, we started walking up and down the street.
Yes, we did.
And after that, I was happy to assist her to walk around the town, and I know that she went around the town at least 3 times. Because I visited the same homes, and they said you'd already been there twice.
Yes.
All right, so
They were going to meet me.
you did a great job, and you've done a great job, and we thank you for your service.
Thank you so much.
And for Ted, I've known Ted since I moved into the neighborhood, probably I guess since '96. And he's always been a passionate advocate for Hainesport Township and always willing to help people who are trying to do good things for the township. And he's been my friend over the course of the years. I've appreciated that friendship. Ted, you've done a great job. Thank you so much. You too, I'm going to have hard shoes to fill, but we're going to do our best. Thank you, and the best of luck with your future endeavors.
Thank you.
You guys have a great future.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye-bye, guys. And Paula, thank you, and congratulations to you.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to working with you. You do a great job.
Thanks. Likewise.
You're very welcome.
Anybody else for public comment?
And there's,
Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Deacon Leo from Our Lady Queen of Peace Church. And on behalf of Pastor Father Joe Noche and the parishioners of our parish, I would like to thank you for your consideration in this matter. During these tough times, our community and our main concern is to keep the people of our parish and our community safe. With your help, I know that this will all be possible. So thank you for your time and congratulations and on your journey, and thank you to Ted and
Do I have a journey too?
on your journey. I know you're moving on, and I know everybody likes you guys. So
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Very much.
Thank you very much.
So Deacon, you understand, I hope, that you need to start a process again over there? Have you had any communication with our zoning or administration?
Yes.
You have 75 days a
Yes, sir.
stay of the existing site plan, and from what I understand, you need to revisit that.
Yes, I know we're going to apply for that application and hopefully get a new resolution.
Hopefully, you'll, get on that, so the 75 days doesn't come and go,
Yes, sir.
okay?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Thank you.
With that, I'm going to close public comment, and we have Comments from our administrator.
Okay, thank you. The Bancroft Road resurfacing and storm pipe lining bids will be going out to the streets in January, and we anticipate this project to begin in March or April. I've been working with our planner's office and our playground vendor over the past month, preparing conceptual and playground plans for the front playground renovation project here at the municipal playground. I will be submitting the CDBG grant request for additional funding support for the fully accessible surfacing by December 18th. And again, I want to thank you for your support and confidence in me to continue performing the duties of municipal clerk. I was given this opportunity in 2017, and to say that I have grown in this profession and learned so much over the past several years is truly an understatement. I want to thank you, as well as everybody around me who has helped get me here along the way. I truly do appreciate the opportunity, and I want to wish everybody a happy Hanukkah, Christmas, and New Year. And Lee and Ted, I want to thank you both also for your support, and it's been a pleasure working with both of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Comments from our solicitor?
Thank you, Mayor. Just, I too would like to congratulate Paula on her reappointment. She hates it when I say this, but I've known Paula since she was pretty much a kid in this business. And it's been a real privilege to watch her grow. I also want to congratulate Lee and Ted for your service to your community. I've been a municipal attorney for 36 years. I've watched so many public officials, and it's just reassuring to see people who give back to their communities for what comes out to be 20 cents an hour, really, right? I mean, so the commitment is really commendable, and I congratulate you and wish you nothing but the best. I thank the committee for just another great year. It's really been enjoyable. I really like it here. And Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, have a great New Year.
Comments from the committee, start with Mrs. Gilmore.
Okay, well, thank everyone for coming out into the cold. And for those who attended the tree lighting ceremony, it was freezing. But Santa and Mrs. Claus arrived by way of Bruce McLaughlin's chariot and the Hainesport Volunteer Fire Department, and it was a great time had by all. There was dancers and trains and hot chocolate, and it was a very nice affair. I also just want to remind people about the Senior Citizens Meeting, which is this Thursday, the 10th at noon at the Street Center. The Gingerbread House Decorating Contest, the houses need to arrive at the center on Friday, the 11th, at between 5 and 7 p.m. The center will be open on the 12th between 12 and 3 for viewing by the public and judging. The winners will be announced at 3:30. There's also the house decorating contest with the holiday lights. The deadline for entries is the 12/18. Judging will take place the 19th through the 21st. If you're involved, please have your lights on for the judges. The last story time for children 2.5 to 5 years old is December 18th, 10 to 11 a.m. at the Street Center. I too want to thank both Ted and Lee for their service to the community for the last 3 years, and congratulations and much luck going forward. Congratulations, Paula. You know how I feel. Wish everybody who celebrates Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas. Please stay safe and healthy, and Happy New Year.
I'm going to make my comment now, so Lee and Ted have the last word. But I've been at two affairs recently, the Veterans Lunch and the tree lighting, and I absolutely did not recognize Mrs. Gilmore in her mask, and I apologize for not mentioning you. I did not, I cannot tell it's you when you have your mask on.
Stop talking about it, he felt really bad.
Yeah, I did. I didn't mention her name both times, but I really do not recognize you in your mask, and you were masked up pretty good, so I really apologize for that.
Bandit.
Yeah, so that was just one of those, one of the many spots that I've had over the year. But Anyway, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate Ken and Bruce. They kept texting me as, now. I kept telling them, no. And I kept going back to Paula, are we ready? No. But anyway, guys, congratulations for winning a race, and I think you'll be great candidates. You're both, as everybody knows, longtime residents of town, and it really took some convincing to get you guys to run, and I'm glad we all did it, and congratulations to you two, because you did what it took to win. With that, I'm going to ask Lee.
Can Ted go first?
Yeah, Jerry, I'm going to let Jerry, because he's not here, I forgot he was on the line. So Jerry, if you have a comment?
I just want to congratulate Ken and Bruce on their win, Paula on her reappointment, and Lee and Ted for their service. It was a pleasure serving them. Thank you.
So Lee would ask that you had the next to last
Okay.
comment.
Sure. Okay, this is my last meeting, so I figured let's have some fun. Let me tell you about how I got involved in politics. We all get sucked in some way or another, and this is how I got in. The year was 1968. I was 12 years old. My mother said, come on, Teddy, get dressed, get a suitcase together, we're going. Where are we going? We're going to Chicago. So yeah, Chicago, 1968, Democratic National Convention. My mother had it all arranged. I had a UPI press pass. Don't ask me how a 12-year-old kid can get in. No metal detectors back then, of course. A badge on my chest getting in with the press. The press was located right above the podium. I got to see Hubert Humphrey, all the other guys up there, all the presidential candidates, vice presidential candidates. All those people I got to see, which was a lot of fun. But the reason why I'm telling you this story is because I did happen to, by chance, happen upon this guy who was running for president. He was what they call a hippie or a yippie. Yippies were the political version of the hippies. And he had a following, a number of people, probably maybe 25 to 50 people behind him. He had a gorgeous girlfriend, I remember that. I was only 12 years old, and she was gorgeous, let me tell you. And his motto was that I have nothing to hide. And he had a number of signs above his head. His followers all said, vote for, his name was John Hadrian, vote for John, he has nothing to hide. Full transparency in government, a precursor to what we have in New Jersey with the Open Public Meetings Act. This fellow was ahead of his time, as I tell you. He was really a model of open government. I forgot to tell you, that pretty girl, well, she was naked, and so was he, and they all were. And of course, that was his motto, I had nothing to hide. So can you imagine how this 12-year-old boy viewing all of this, what he possibly have thought? Was he aghast? Was he shocked? Was he horrified? No, it was the best day of his life. So from that day on, I kind of figured, Richie, good to see you. I kind of figured there's something about this politics. I have to get involved and see what was going on. Well, that probably sucked me in the beginning. And later on, of course, things got more serious. And I'm glad Richie's here because Richie's part of this story, actually. I moved to Hainesport back in 1996. But prior to that, I bought my office building, which is right up the street, in 1989. That was when Route 38 was only 2 lanes, not 4 lanes. This town has really changed over the course of the past 25 years. And we had Bill Clinton as president, a moderate Democrat. I'm not sure if we have moderate Democrats anymore. But anyway, I was appointed prosecutor in 1995, and by a mayor who soon went to jail, by the way. In any event, as prosecutor, I got a feel for the town. And one of the things I was told to do was to prosecute someone who was illegally mining. He was running an illegal mining operation in town, digging this big hole, and water was coming in, and the allegation was, pretty soon it's going to take over the town. We don't know where this water is going to stop. It's going to inundate everything. So I investigated, I took a look at it, and I had a nice discussion with the gentleman who owned the illegal mining operation. And sure enough, he was mining, not for gold or metals, but for sand. He was digging sand and selling it to cement companies and forming a huge lake, which did seem to ever expand for a while. But eventually, since I saw him in court, I said, look, we don't want to prosecute you as long as you do what you're suggesting you're going to do, which was to build nice lakefront homes and make a nice community out of it. And certainly that's what he did as the months rolled by. He actually built the Creekview development, and you have nice lakefront homes, and and it's a very nice development. And that development, that's not the end of my story with that development, by the way. Years later, as I was prosecutor, a couple years later, back in the late 90s, maybe early 2000s, the then mayor planned on building a low-income housing development right near the existing market rate houses, which people were up in arms over, and nobody wanted it. I didn't want it either at that location. It's what we call Hastings Drive right now. So in any event, we formed a homeowners group, and the catalyst for that homeowners group was this gentleman right over here, Richie Matera. And Richie Matera formed a group called Chiefs. What's it stand for, Rich?
Citizens of Hainesport interested in equitable and fair solutions.
That's what I thought. Well, anyway, it's a mouthful, right? So Richie formed this wonderful group, citizens group. He went around to neighbors. He got me involved, and I got sucked into that, doing all the legal work. And I violated all the rules, I guess, because I actually had to pay or have one of my attorneys who was working for me sign his name and bring litigation against the town to appeal the issuance of resolutions authorizing low-income housing there. And we, believe it or not, we were successful. We ended up scaring the heck out of the Quaker group. I was the developer at that time. And we ended up making a settlement, ultimately, over a conference table, which changed the apartments to market rate, beautiful townhouses. And that's what you have there right now. And the people over there were very thankful because it would not have been a good mix there to have low-income apartments right next to the market units. So we were highly successful with that. And I thank Richie and other people in this room participated, by the way. Bruce Levinson participated, getting people active. Bruce McLaughlin participated, getting people active. And maybe that actually got us all drawn into politics. And within a year after that, I was actually made the solicitor of the town. I think because the mayor was running scared, because we scared the bejesus out of him, and he wanted our support. In any event, things progressed. I have one other anecdote to tell you. When I was prosecutor, sometimes good things happen after bad things. I was giving the heartbreaking chore of prosecuting a woman, which the county gave me. It downgraded the charges down to the municipal level. She had simply been driving her car through the intersection of Creek Road and Hainesport Mount Laurel Road, which at that time only had 2 stop signs facing each other, not 4. And sure enough, she blew through a stop sign, and she got creamed on the side, and her daughter died as a passenger. It was a horrifying accident, and I was given the job of prosecuting her. Well, you know, I broke all the rules again, and there's no way in the world I was going to prosecute her. She just felt awful. So I did what I had to do to make the charges go away. But the important thing out of that came out of that is that we then lobbied for better signals. We wanted either blinking red lights or something, and the county did give us 4 stop signs. And since that time, I'm happy to say that I don't think there's been any deaths there, hardly any accidents at that intersection, although it was one of the most dangerous intersections in town at that time. So I'm just saying sometimes good things can come out of bad things, and that was a bad one, boy. Eventually, by the way, I was also the Sage Run Homeowners Association trustee, which kind of helped me in talking to people, meeting people like Ken. Right, Ken? And I must have met you over 20 years ago, and I'm glad you're one of the neighbors, certainly an upstanding guy in the neighborhood. I was also chairman of the Republican Party, as you heard Bruce mention, and yes, we never did lose a race. We must have elected at least 50 candidate elections over the course of those 20 years. And zooming along, this town has changed. Boy, new municipal building. We had an old one, now called the Kent Street Building, which barely could contain anything. It's a wonder we operated out of that building. We had the police department back then, not now, but back then we did. We had the zoning office, construction office, tax collector, all in the basement offices. It was terrible, really. So we did buy this building, and the land, rather. We bought the building, built the building. And then within a couple of years, we bought the entire ball fields back here. That was the Wells Johnson Farm. I negotiated that from the owners. One was dead, and I had to deal with the heirs, but eventually we did buy it. And the most important thing out of that is that we got the state and county to pay 75% of the funds. We only paid 25%. And it was a lot of money, and that was really a good success for the town. And now we have these wonderful soccer courts and a hockey field and whatever else we have back there for the enjoyment of residents. That could have gone somewhere else. That was poised to become a housing development. Same thing with the Long Bridge Farms. What do we call the park over there? Long Bridge Park, right?
Right.
Okay. That was poised to become a housing development. It was sold. They were going to put up condos and everything else over there. But we somehow got in at the right time. We rescued it, and we negotiated with the parties. And this time, this is really the joy of this one, was that we didn't have to pay a dime, because in this instance, we got the county to buy it. They may have used some state funding too, but that became a beautiful municipal park to tie in with the county park. And we didn't pay a dime. It's wonderful. I should also tell you that somewhere along the line, I did mention that one of our mayors went to jail. Yeah, that was on my watch as a solicitor too, and I had to do some investigating along with the administrator, and we had to tell what happened to the prosecutors. None of us liked the fact that he committed those crimes, but of course we had to deal with it. And I'm happy to report that the township did not lose any money on that deal. Not a dime. The monies were recovered that were lost were recovered by insurance. And what else can I tell you? I raised 3 kids here. My wife of 22 years, unfortunately, did pass away of breast cancer in 2010. That's the sad news also. I did eventually remarry to my Lithuanian princess, as I call her. Her name is Lena. Ready for this one? Kokiskaskate, something like that. That's her real last name. It's Lithuanian, and I still can't pronounce it. But she's my princess. Eventually, I was elected Township Committeeman, and I've enjoyed working with everyone up here for the past 3 years. It's been a heck of a ride, and it is enjoyable. Doing something good, trying to do good things for the town, meeting people, and trying to give advice to people as well. I'm a lawyer too, so sometimes that comes in handy as well. As for my future, I think, and by the way, I'm only getting off the committee because of a large, a terrific force. And that force is 2 legs, 2 eyes, and a pair of lips. My wife, she wants me to try some different things for a while, and I'd like to have a good life with her. And like they say, a happy wife makes a happy life. Well, we're gonna give that a try for a while. And as for the future, I think I can help Hainesport Township, actually more so off the committee than on. Because I'm a lawyer, I'm involved in development with a lot of clients, and I'll do what I can to bring in some commercial ratables and hopefully lower our taxes. Why not, right? So that's one of the things that I plan to do off this committee. I might add that having met many people in this town, including the ones in this room, Democrats and Republicans alike, I can say that generally speaking, they're really nice people. This is a town of an egalitarian town, where people here come from all walks of life, all incomes, you name it, all status, but nobody has really pretentious airs here. Everyone respects one another for their inner person, for their personality, and their merits, not on any kind of station in life. You can go to walk into ShopRite and Home and Lowe's and pass by people here, and you never know how wealthy or poor they are. They act like everybody else, and I kind of like that. I think that's the way to live my life in Neverland as well. So anyway, I thank you for putting up with me, both the residents and the people on this dais, because sometimes I'm a pain in the neck. I know that, Not everyone's appreciated some of my stands, but nevertheless, I always felt it important to speak my mind as the Lord gave it to me. So I thank you again, and if you see me around, please say hello. Thank you.
So I have two parts, bear with me. So I want to acknowledge people who helped us from the very beginning. Ted and I, the odds were against us. So I just want to say thank you to my dear parents, Diana and Roger Schneider, Natalie Schneider, my brother James Kale, Jason Cardy, Bruce McLaughlin, Ron Napoli, Bruce, and Lorraine Levinson. You know, in the primaries, it's really hard to get people to help you. People, they dodge you like the plague because, you know, they're afraid, and you helped, and that meant the world to me. I talk about it all the time. Anyone who helped us in the primaries, I keep you guys near and dear because that was nice of you to stick your neck out for us because you knew we were trying to fight the good fight, you know. I also want to thank Denise Streets Klein, Margie Colby, and all the voters who came out during the primary in general. I also want to say that when I ran, I never wanted to be that elected official that promised you this, that, and the other, and then didn't do it. So I made sure I went down that checklist, and I remember asking Frank Mashaki to put the health benefits on the agenda, like the second meeting. And I got right to work, and it's very awkward, you know, but it got done, and it got done. And I was happy I could do that. And now things are transparent, so people can watch us from home, like they are now, you know, and thank God, because there's a pandemic and people can't come. People used to come in 2018 and 19. But, you know, not so much this year for obvious reasons. So I want to say, you know, Bruce and Ken, I know Hainesport will be in good hands with you both. Bruce, you know, we've spent time together in 2017, and I know you're in it for the right reasons. And Ken, Bruce wouldn't have raved about you if you weren't the man he says you are. You are. And I also want to say John Gillespie, a smart mayor from another town once gave me good advice. He said, never let John Gillespie go. And he was right. You were always a phone call away, explaining things to me. And I've always referred to you as my human pit bull because you come prepared. And I've enjoyed working with you these past 3 years. You know how I feel about you. And Paula, congratulations. You were the glue that keeps this governing body together. Your work ethic and your attention to detail doesn't go unnoticed. And I want you to know that I know how hard you work. You make it look easy, and I know it's not. It truly was an honor serving my hometown of Hainesport. These 3 years have shaped me immensely, and I want to thank Hainesport for giving me the opportunity to serve them. And I wish Ken and Bruce the best, and I know you guys will do great. So thank you.
Okay, so back to reality here. We have a bill list to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Vote, please.
Aye.
Mr. Costa?
Aye.
Ms. Schneider? Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. And we do have a resolution 2020-175-12 to enter into an executive session for the purpose of professional service contracts. Do we expect any formal action after the meeting? Yeah. So the audience, nothing's going to happen after the meeting. So it's your choice to stay.
Sorry.
All you'll hear is an adjournment after we get out.
We're going to have our closed session in this room
So now we're, because of
yeah.
COVID, okay. Things are changing. So we're going to ask the audience to basically leave the room at this point.
Please leave.
Yeah, 10 minutes to ease on out.
Get home safe. Have a Merry Christmas.
Can we get a motion for exec, please?
Yes, we do need a motion
So moved.
to enter in.
Second.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes.
I swear to God, it's getting colder in here.
Hey, Rich, don't go yet. Can't touch my hands, it's cold. You shoved it right through.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I told you, I mentioned your name.
yeah, we made a little
Yeah,
weight back
maybe
then.
we'll encourage you.
It made a difference.
That's right, you did.
And then